all right, movie lovers, 2015 is a wrap. It's now 2016. It's the playoffs. It's award season. We about to break it down and let you know what to expect this award season. We're right on the eve of the Golden Globes when I got the #1 film critic in the country, Mr. Shawn Edwards, here to talk some movies with you. So, I mean, what can we expect? The Golden Globe nominations been out. Oscar nominations coming out this week.
This week.
Producers Guild's out. SAG is out.
Writers Guild's out. Critics' Choice is out. It's the same. That's what's so frustrating about awards season, because you sit there January 1, every Friday you watch all these movies that come out. And there's a ton of movies that people love. Like they love Jurassic World. They love The Force Awakens. They love Straight Outta Compton. They love all these cool movies. And then you sit back and watch all these award nominations roll out. You like, where are my movies?
Yeah.
Where are my people?
Yeah.
Like, especially like if you Black, Hispanic, Asian, where are my people? There's like, it's always no representation. And, you know, it's some good movies featuring Blacks, Asian, and Hispanics, you know, in front and behind the camera. But for some reason, come awards time, they never get no love. So we're going to set the record straight right here. But we also going to tell you, like, if you're playing big money, we're going to tell you the movies, the actors, the actresses, the directors, and all the filmmakers where you need to put that big money down. Like, if you're in an Oscar pool, we'll have you winning it. But we also going to voice our opinion on who should have really got in on these joints.
So let's give the audience a little bit of background. So, like, the different award shows have different categories. So, you know, Golden Globes has TV and film. They do comedies and musicals.
And they do drama. So they break it down a little differently than the Academy Awards. And then you have, like, the Critics' Choice, where they break it down to, like, best sci-fi, horror, best action. Everybody's looking to find that, you know, they're trying to set themselves apart. So they try to do little things, but at the end of the day, you know, they do these little things to make themselves different. But at the end of the day, it's all the same, because don't nobody care about nothing but best picture, best actor, and best actress.
Well, let's start
Sometimes
with
best director.
Let's start with best picture. Like, so the Oscars a couple of years back added it, so it's like now 10 slots. And out of that top 10, there's only one person going to take it home. And Directors Guild and Producers Guild is a good indicator of what's going to be a best picture. So one good thing we got going for representation is that Straight Outta Compton got a Producers Guild award. Ice Cube, Will Packer, all of them got are nominated on the Producers Guild.
That's big. That's big.
Add that to their SAG nomination for ensemble.
That means the acting was dope.
The acting was dope.
The acting was
dope. It's a dope movie. So I'm gonna say that's got to be one of our top 10 movies.
Well, yeah, because then it got the trifecta, because it got a Writers Guild nomination, which means the movie was written very well. So when you got a well-written movie that's well acted, that's well produced, it seems like it's a slam dunk to get the Best Picture nomination. I ain't holding my breath. That was my favorite movie of 2015. Like, that movie was #1, like, by a long stretch, just because it was timely, it was dope, the acting was on point. The music was incredible. I guess one of the best biopics I've seen in my life. So I'm not sure. I'm real nervous about that one getting in. Now, the X Factors, if my man F. Gary Gray, who directed Straight Outta Compton, gets nominated for a Directors Guild nomination. Those haven't been announced yet. That's
January
usually
11th.
Yeah, that's usually the slam dunk. It really shouldn't come down to that, because I didn't see 10 other movies better than Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
I'm just gonna put it out there. There weren't 10 other movies in 2015 better than Straight Outta Compton.
Critically and box office.
Right. No, yeah, it made $200 million worldwide. So I mean, when you have a box office hit, it got great critical reviews, because I mean, like, you know, a lot of people go by Rotten Tomatoes. It's like 88, 89 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is solid especially for that type of film. Let me tell you, because I don't know who in the world votes for that. But it's got all the criteria necessary for a Best Picture nomination. But I have thought that before, like back in the day with Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
And then on Oscar nomination day, it's like no Best Picture nomination. And Dreamgirls got something like 9, 10, 11 like nominations in other categories and didn't get a Best Picture nomination. So I'm not holding my breath, and I will protest. But I think because it's so timely with all the police brutality and the Black Lives Matter campaign that's out there, a lot of that, you know, a lot of the movie's elements mirror what's going on today, which is sad, because it took place 25 years ago.
But that affects the judges. I mean,
it does. It has to be because that historical component. I know.
There's real people. They watching the news. They're here, and the other nod about Straight Outta Compton, it's true. I mean, it's like a lot of these movies make it in there that are fiction. But it's a true story, and that's, you got to give some weight to the truth.
Yeah, they try to give
Tell
it.
the
They
truth.
try to give. They try to. I know. My man Will Smith. They tried to give it a little kickback, because they were like, you know, they left out some elements about some of the things that happened in terms of their interaction with women. I mean, it wasn't a documentary though. It's a feature film. Right. If it's a documentary, then I'll go at him about that. But it's a feature film. So my number one choice of the year has always been Straight Outta Compton. I hope it gets that Best Picture nomination. But let's talk about what's some other contenders.
Definitely The Revenant. That's one of my favorites of the year. I like The Revenant, and he didn't like The Revenant as much as me, as you could tell. I was really struck by the performances.
It was pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It was pretty.
And I think when you put that against Hateful Eight, it was prettier without 70 millimeter.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that was, the Hateful Eight and that whole 70 millimeter thing. That was for hardcore film geeks. I mean, I can go film geek on you right now. I just choose not to. The Revenant is much better than the Hateful Eight. I mean, Quentin, he has a passion for writing. He has a passion for directing. I think sometimes he goes a little overboard, but I appreciate the Revenant for the filmmaking component, though.
Yeah.
I mean, because the cinematography and the editing was on point, but the story left me, for lack of a better word, it left me a little cold.
The Globes chose a movie that I wasn't feeling that much, which was Steve Jobs. I wasn't that big a fan of this iteration of the Jobs movie. I thought it was too soon from the last one. I thought the last one was done well, and I
did not like Steve Jobs at all. I didn't like the way they structured the movie because it basically is centered around 3 different product launches. I thought it was way too talky. I thought it was overwritten.
I thought it was
I know. I thought it was overacted. I know a lot of people are digging Michael Fassbender as Steve Jobs. I didn't feel it. I was bored with it. I just never bought into Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is not getting a Best Picture nomination, and it doesn't deserve it. I think Michael Fassbender's still going to get nominated. I wouldn't put money on him winning because I think Leonardo DiCaprio from The Revenant is going to walk away. I got big money on Leonardo DiCaprio in the Best Actor category, but I never felt Steve Jobs from day one. The Golden Globe nominating committee's tripping.
Yeah. Movies that we probably won't. Well, we might see in this top 10. You talked a little about The Force Awakens. Big box office hits opening in China this weekend. It's probably going to be the biggest movie ever. It might take over Avatar, but is that the type of movie that we normally would see in an Oscar nomination category?
Well, the original Star Wars in 1977 got nominated for Best Picture, but it was an original idea back then. I called it way before I even saw the movie months ago, like way back in like January, February. I said Star Wars The Force Awakens is going to get a Best Picture nomination. It's a lot of factors why. I mean, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's just too big and powerful at the box office. I mean, Titanic got a Best Picture nomination. Avatar got a Best Picture nomination. I don't see how it doesn't get a Best Picture nomination. I'm not saying it's one of the 10 best movies of the year. It's a fun movie. It's great from a nostalgic point of view. I didn't think it was one of the 10 best, but I think it will get nominated for Academy Award. Plus, at the end of the day, ABC, they need people to watch the telecast. It's like the second most watched live show of the year. If you really want people to tune in, Star Wars will get a Best Picture nomination. I don't know how you ignore something that a whole bunch of people went to go see.
I think they might just get it nominated just so they can have Lupita walking across the carpet again. I mean,
it's a lot of that, and have J.J. Abrams show up, and Harrison Ford show up, and Carrie Fisher show. I mean, just a lot of the ancillary things that go around this whole award season. Star Wars, they have those critical components that will force people to pull the trigger when it comes time to vote. I mean, I don't know how you. It's like when the banking systems fail. Star Wars: The Force Awakens is too big to fail. It's just too big to fail. Like, I'm not saying you have to give it an Oscar or that it even has to win, but it's too big to ignore. So I think it'd be like that 9th or 10th slot. It'd be right there at the tail end where it's not going to dominate the night. But at least it's going to be there so people can tune in. It's just too big. It's too big.
Yeah.
How can you ignore it? Star Wars is everywhere.
Speaking of too big to fail, another movie, The Big Short, kind of took on that too big to fail thing, and it was it felt a little Wolf of Wall Street, maybe a little bit. I mean, but do you think that movie would be in there?
Yeah, no. I love The Big Short. The Big Short is definitely getting nominated. Number one, it's got a terrific ensemble cast. The subject matter, it's a smart and an important subject matter, but done in a really cool way by director Adam McKay, which still blows me away because he's the dude that directed the Anchorman movies.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the hell this came from. I don't know, but he killed it. He's got an outside shot to get nominated as Best Director, but no, The Big Short's definitely getting nominated. And if you want to put money on a movie that can upset the night of the Academy Awards, make that big upset, like when they announce Best Picture winner and say, and the winner is The Big Short, don't be shocked. That's like my dark horse. Because it's a cooler, smarter version of Spotlight, where it's a smart movie about an important subject matter that just happened recently that was done really well cinematically. I mean, that's what the Academy members tend to lean toward.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of heavyweights on that cast that, you know, a lot of actors vote.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Christian Bale, Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell. I mean, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lining up to be a real big dark horse favorite for real.
Yeah.
So, and I liked the movie. I thought it was cool.
I thought it was real cool.
I mean, I had to watch it twice to fully, because I'm not really into finance like that, so I had to watch it twice to fully understand.
Any movie they got Margot Robbie, I could watch twice though. You know, Margot, even if she was just in there for a second.
That's a whole show by itself.
You brought up Spotlight, and a lot of critics are loving Spotlight. I keep hearing it on these tours and people talking about it. What's your analysis of Spotlight? What are you thinking?
Spotlight is like, remember a long time ago there was a movie called Sideways?
Yeah. It's
like the critic's choice. Spotlight's like Boyhood. Yeah. Like critics feel they have to like that movie. Like, I have to like it because it's about an important subject matter, and it's got a lot of members of the cast that I like, and it was done well, but it didn't motivate me. It didn't excite me. I appreciate it because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie, and it's definitely not the best picture of 2015.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like that favorite because it got a lot of critical acclaim from critics groups, but critics don't vote for the Academy Awards. I mean, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. Real critics don't vote for the Academy Awards. It's like comprised of like actors and producers and directors, so it could lean a little differently. I know people want to put it out there as the front runner, but if it is the front runner, it's one of the weakest front runners in a long time.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I appreciate it. I don't want people out there think I'm hating on Spotlight. I mean, in the Catholic Church and all that, and the art of journalism and the skill that it took to write that story or those series of stories. But I mean, I started off as a journalist, so I have a great appreciation. But I also realize that there's some better movies out there that I would give that golden statue to.
One movie that I like, I don't know if it's a best picture. I mean, but I would be happy if it got one of the 10 slots.
At least a nomination. Oh, I love Creed.
I thought more than anything, it was just an amazing triumph for a franchise that I thought was dead, and that the way he infused a new story into it was just. I mean, it was amazing. No,
it's great. I mean, Creed is essentially Rocky 7, and the original Rocky back in 1976 won Best Picture.
Right.
And this is toe-to-toe. It's right up there with the original Rocky. I mean, I know it's similar in tone and theme and style, which same thing as The Force Awakens, but you know, the people that love Star Wars don't care. The people that love Rocky don't care. It was a great movie. It made you feel good. It was a crowd pleaser. And Sylvester Stallone delivered the best performance of his career. Michael B. Jordan was great. I love Tessa Thompson. I wouldn't be shocked if it got a Best Picture nomination, kind of like how The Blind Side slid in back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I actually think Michael B. Jordan has a better shot at getting nominated for Best Actor than the picture getting the Best Picture nomination.
But Sylvester Stallone is probably
he's in.
He's in.
Is he going to win or not is the question. He's in. I mean, that performance, man, he had me cry. I was in tears. I mean, I like Creed. But Michael B. Jordan did kill it, but Sylvester Stallone was great.
There's some other like historic directors that are competing.
Wow,
you
the
got
directing category
Ridley
is
Scott,
tough.
and you got George Miller. What do you think about The Martian and can Mad Max be considered as a Best Picture?
Well, I'm gonna sit here and tell you right now, if I were an Academy member and I had my vote, I would vote Mad Max #1. I mean, Straight Outta Compton was my favorite movie of the year, but if I'm looking for something that could actually win, I would give my vote to Mad Max was incredible. I mean, it's just the way it was made. It was so organic, and they real stunts, and they're out there in the middle of the desert, right outside South Africa, doing all this crazy stuff with these crazy cool costumes and exotic makeup, and these huge set pieces that you never seen before. I mean, at the end of the day, when the Academy announces a nomination, I think Mad Max is going to have the most, anywhere from like 9 to 12 if Charlize Theron gets in as Best Actress, which I think she deserves. I mean, she was great in the movie. I actually think Tom Hardy should get in as Best Supporting Actor. He was great in the movie as well. I mean, George Miller, who directed it, I mean, I like to think of the best director directing a movie that no one else could direct.
Right.
Like who else on the planet could have directed Mad Max Fury Road? Like, you go down the list of all the directors working in Hollywood, and it goes right back to George Miller's the only dude that could have directed this movie. Like, somebody else could have directed Straight Outta Compton. Somebody else could have directed Bridge of Spies. Someone else could have directed Spotlight. Somebody else could have directed Carol. Someone else could have directed Brooklyn. Yeah. Hell, somebody else could have directed The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But there ain't nobody else that could have directed Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
So that's why he should stand head and shoulders above everybody else. Even somebody else could have directed The Martian. I like what Ridley Scott did with The Martian because he took like that book is complicated as hell, and he turned it into a rah-rah crowd pleasing movie that everyone could buy into.
Right.
I mean, he had a lot of help from Matt Damon, who is good in the movie and maybe deserves a Best Actor nomination. But Ridley Scott's got that lifetime achievement thing sort of like hanging over. Like, do we give him this award for The Martian the way we gave Martin Scorsese the award for The Departed?
Yeah.
It ain't the best movie he's ever directed, but the time is right.
Right.
And that's what it's about sometimes.
And these names, these are going to be the movies that the audience is going to be like, what movie is that? I never heard of this. These other movies that are being considered are Youth and Danish Girl and Brooklyn, and these are going to be movies that probably you'll see on TV, you wouldn't have seen in the box office, and you're probably going to be upset if it wins. So you're like, who is that? But I think we went over a good amount of it. Who are we missing? Anybody that?
Well, the one movie I would keep an eye out for is Carol. Because I think Carol has a good shot to like be right up there with Mad Max. It could get like maybe 8, 9, 10 nominations at the end of the day.
I hated that movie.
I did too. I get why people love it. Lesbian love story, 2 great actresses, terrific director. I mean, Todd Haynes is a good director. At the end of the day, but that movie did nothing for me. And it's not because it was about 2 lesbians. It just didn't do anything for me. It was slow. It was boring. Same thing with Brooklyn. I appreciate a great love story. It was slow. It didn't do nothing for me. Like I said, I sort of like the crowd pleasing movies this year. The Martian was cool. I love Mad Max. I'm pulling for Straight Outta Compton. Creed was terrific. The Force Awakens. Come on. Who doesn't love a little nostalgia? But I mean,
and wouldn't it be great to have 10 nominees that people like really love the movies?
That's what it should be about. It should be about really great movies. It should be about great movies that a lot of people love.
Right.
And there's some really good movies that people love. So hopefully it works that way. You just never know.
All right, so check out some of these clips from some of these movies that you're gonna see this year, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about Best Actor. Now let's start with supporting. We gotta say Best Actor for a little bit.
We do supporting.
We're gonna go do supporting actor and actress when we come back right here. Y'all stay tuned.
Like, y'all just got a snapshot of how Americans really feel. We gave the people a voice. We gave the people truth.
Yeah, but your songs, they glamorize the lifestyle of gangs, guns, drugs.
Our art is a reflection of our reality. What you see when you go outside your door?
I know what I see.
And it ain't glamorous.
You get AKs from Russia and cocaine from Colombia.
And ain't none of us got a passport, so might want to check the source.
Yeah, next question.
Will you be more careful about what you say, how you say it?
No. Probably not, no.
Wow. Freedom of speech includes rap music, right? But we exercising our First Amendment as far as I'm concerned.
And the government wrote that.
See, you ain't got mixed emotions about bringing a woman to a rope.
By woman, you mean her? No, I do not have mixed emotions.
So you taking her in the Red Rock to hang?
You bet.
You gonna wait around and watch it?
Oh, you know I am. I want to hear her neck snap with my own 2 ears. You never wait to watch them hang?
My bound is never hang, because I never bring him in alive.
Never.
Never, ever. We talked about this in Chattanooga. Bringing desperate men in alive is a good way to get yourself dead.
Can't catch me sleeping if I don't close my eyes.
I don't want to work that hard.
No one said the job's supposed to be easy.
No one said it's supposed to be that hard, neither. It's that little lady. That's why they call him the hangman. When the handbill says dead or alive, the rest of us shoot you in the back up on top of a perch somewhere and bring you in dead over a saddle. But when John Roof, the hangman, catches you, you don't dive no bullet in the back. When the hangman catches you, you hang.
Jobs insists, I'm
I
quoting,
didn't invent math.
28% of the male population of the United States could be the father.
I wasn't saying you slept with 28% of American men. I was using an algorithm based on the blood test, which said there was a 94.1% chance that I'm the father.
You're trying to publicly paint me as a slut and a whore.
Believe me, I'm not trying to publicly do anything with you.
2 million people read Time. How am I
It would be
supposed
more if they put me on the cover, but Dan
I
Cocky
applied for
decided to
welfare
kidney punch
yesterday.
me. I'm sorry?
I said I applied for welfare yesterday. The Time article said your Apple stock was worth $441 million. And I wanted to ask you how you felt about that.
Well, I feel like Apple stock has been dramatically undervalued. This would be a good time to get in.
You don't know a thing about me. What I've seen. We all need to run.
Hope is not lost today. We must face them. Fight them.
Sure you're up for this? Hell no.
Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
So, I pull out the 14 most damning docs and I attach them to my motion. And they prove everything. Everything. About the church, about the bishops, about law.
And it's all public. Because your motion to oppose Roger's motion is
public. Yeah, exactly. Now you're paying attention.
And so I could just walk into that courthouse right now and get those documents?
No, you cannot. Because the documents are not there.
But you just said they're public.
I know I did. But this is Boston. And the church does not want them to be found. So, they are not there.
Mitch, are you telling me that the Catholic Church removed legal documents from that courthouse?
Look, I'm not crazy. I'm not paranoid. I'm experienced. Check the docket. You'll see. They control everything.
Everything I got is moved on, and I'm here. But you know what? It's okay. Because I said to myself, if I break, if I'm hurt, whatever, I ain't gonna fix it. Why bother?
And I'm just some bum that's living in your crib, just nothing.
You're a good kid and a good fighter. But you got your whole future ahead of you. Mine? Back there, like all them guys on that wall. In the back, in the past.
1,200 kilometers in diameter, bearing 24.41 degrees.
That's tracking right towards us.
Based on current escalation, estimated force of 8,600 newtons.
What's the abort force?
7,500. Anything more than that, and the MAF could tip.
Begin abort procedure.
Let's wait it out.
Prep emergency departure. We're scrubbed. That's an order. Martinez, how long before takeoff?
12 minutes.
Visibility is almost zero. Anyone gets lost, hone into my suit's telemetry. You ready?
Ready.
Commander, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Hey! We might be able to keep the MAF from tipping! Watch out!
So what kind of name is Belavet?
It's Czech. It's changed originally.
It's very original.
Well,
And your first name?
Therese.
Therese, not Teresa.
No.
Therese Belavet. It's lovely.
And yours?
Carol.
Carol.